Chapter 13 of Bhagavad Gita. This chapter is again packed with knowledge. And this chapter begins with the questions from Arjuna. You know that Arjuna is a super intelligent person. He thought since God was in his vicinity and acting as a teacher for the time being, he should take advantage of this greatest teacher, his greatest guru. So Arjuna asked, "Oh God, I would like to know about the Kshetragya, Gyan and Gyeya." Kshetra means the field. Kshetragya, knower of the field. Gyan, knowledge. And Gyeya, object of knowledge. Kshetra, field. Bhagavan says that a field means your body. You know about your body, your height and weight, where your organs are, and so on. Just as you know how much of land you possess. If I take you along with other persons and ask you, where is your field of wheat or rice, or for that matter anything, agricultural field, you can say, well, this is the area that belongs to me. Your friend will say, this is the area that belongs to me. So your friend has the knowledge of his own kshetra, you have the knowledge of your own kshetra. Similarly, you know about your body, your friend knows about his body. This is kshetra. And since you know about your area, so you are the knower. You are Kshetragya. Your friend is Kshetragya, knower of his own field. But God is the knower of all the fields. Now come to knowledge. Let me take the example of your body. You have the knowledge of what your organs do. You have the knowledge of what your sense of taste does. It gives you the perception of sugar, salt, and pepper. You know about it. You know the function of the sense of taste. You know the function of touch, the sense of touch. Somebody or some object hits you and you feel the thud of pressure or tingle. Similarly, you touch somebody, some parts, you get some kind of feeling. And the activities related to that feeling. You might hit him or you might kiss him. So, you know the field of activities of your senses. So, you are knower of the field of activities. This kind of knowledge is, of course, knowledge. But again, in the body, in your kshetra, you have mind also. And the offshoot of mind is intelligence and ego. You know the function of your mind, your mental activities, what your mind can think about, and how many things you can think about and store in your mind. Similarly, you can think about the consequences. You can think about your intelligence, in which way your intelligence will go. So you know the activities But who knows the entire activity? That is, you are the master of your senses, but who is super master of all the senses? Let me tell you at this point that God has been described as Hrishikesh, which means master of all senses. So Bhagwan is the master of all senses. He knows everything. He knew about the Prakriti, nature of all things, immovable and movable in all senses, and the activities of all human beings and activities of all the living creatures in the world, because he's a super soul. The soul resident in your body does not do anything. It is not entangled in any of your activities. It remains unentangled, like me, because it is a part of me, soul. So I live everywhere, I am beginningless, I exist everywhere, inside and outside, I am all pervading, and you have to see all these things through the eye of your knowledge. Of course, there are persons who hear about God from gurus and saints and they are drawn towards God. Now, that is a good starting point. They are agnostic, but then they become interested. Oh, all these things about God, let me hear more about Him. And so he keeps on hearing and then he makes slow progress towards the knowledge of his spirituality. So there is some scope for him. God is all knowable. So gay, knowable, what should be known. But the real knowledge is to understand not only the cause and effect of something that you do and you get the consequences, you hit somebody and then again somebody will hit you, not that, but the cause of all causes. God is the cause of all causes and He is beyond all causes. He is beyond cause and effect. That is God, that is super soul. But to understand all this would require constant attention on Him, and the prerequisites of reaching Him, unless you control the mind and unless you be totally equipoised. Only then you can understand Him. To understand Him is not an easy task, but through constant practice you can do though, and you can achieve that. This is the purpose of this chapter, which appears very difficult for many people, and many gurus start with a bang explaining Kshetra, Kshetragya and so on, spend a lot of time giving a lot of examples, but finally when it comes to really making it known that God is above all cause and effects and He is the cause of all causes, they stop at that point. It is for you to mull over it. But an ordinary person cannot think about all this. God says that I am beyond the understanding of a common man, beyond the human perception. Again, this is not an easy thing, but a man who is extremely devoted to Him can finally achieve all that, can understand all that through His mercy.